Hello, Tarot Love Bugs. I hope this finds you well. So as you could probably see from the title, I am doing a VR to, actually the original tag was Martyn at Musings by Martyn, but I first saw it posted by Laura at Aquamarine Tarot and Books, I think is her new name of her channel. So I watched Laura's first and I thought it looked like fun, and then I checked out Martyn's because it was his original. And of course, this is a tag that has had quite a few iterations, but Martyn put a really interesting twist on it because we don't have many options for bringing much with us. So this is the old, if you were stuck on a desert island for a year, what tarot would you bring kind of a tag. But Martyn gave us the following parameters. So we get 2 tarot, 1 oracle, and 1 book. So, because we only have 3 decks and a book to keep us entertained for a year, that pushed me to make choices that were different from if I were making that choice with, say, 10 decks. Because I could bring some of my same old with 10 decks, and still have room to bring in a couple of, kind of experimental decks. But because we have such a limited choice, I chose decks that were really different, and I'm kind of surprised. So I'll try to stop blathering and I'll get down to my choices. So I thought I would do the tarot first. So I decided that one of the tarot decks I would bring is the Gentle Tarot. Now I do have the regular size Gentle Tarot, but I thought, well, look, this will protect this deck nicely and keep it from the elements. So I am going to bring the pocket size, plus it takes up a little less room. So I have shown this deck multiple times and people see it all the time, but I love that Ace of Cups. So I decided, one of the reasons I decided to bring this deck is because it is gentle, yet it packs a punch too. And I have worked with this deck a few times. I haven't deep dived it. So I think that's another good reason, another good reason to, look at that, to include that on my 3 decks. Anyway, one of the biggest influencing factors for why I have chosen to bring the Gentle Tarot is because of this nice chunky guidebook. And Martyn did say we could bring the guidebooks that go with the decks. So that was one of the big reasons, because the whole reason I backed this second Kickstarter of Mari's, and I should say this is a deck by Mari in the Sky. And I loved it's a good size guidebook that comes with the original Gentle Tarot. But this is an expanded edition. So I will really have a nice time working with this lovely, big, chunky guidebook. So that's the first tarot deck. And then the second tarot deck, I've also been talking about somewhat frequently on my channel because it just recently came into my collection. And it's this one, the Shimmering Veil Tarot by Cilla Conway. So the reason I chose this was because this is an art style that is completely different from the normal art styles that I go with. And I'm not going to show the majors because the past 2 times I've shown this deck, I've shown the majors. I have not worked with this deck yet, but you can get a little idea about the art style. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that 3 of Swords. Really interesting. The lightning striking the heart. This deck is beautiful. And it isn't abstract, but it's not as, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not an art. I love art. I go to art museums all the time, but I don't know what kind of art style this is. It's not abstract. It's slightly more abstract than, say, for example, Pamela Coleman Smith or even the Gentle Tarot. So I thought this would be a really fun deck to work with. And I could really spend a lot of time getting to know it. There could be some really interesting path working going on with this deck. And cards for meditating. And of course, tarot reading. So I think this would be a really interesting deck to work with over the course of a year's time. And by the way, I am not going to a desert island. I'm going to a tropical island. Maybe it'll be deserted, but it's going to be tropical. So this has a nice chunky guidebook too. So anyway, I think that deck will keep me occupied for quite a while. It's very different from any other deck that I have. And I'm looking forward to working with it on or not on a desert island or a tropical island. So this is I was almost going to do 3 tarot, but then I thought, you know what? Dow Oracle. I have had this for a year and a day, and I have never really done much with it other than to occasionally pull a card or pull a few cards and use it just as a regular old oracle. But I have not used it with the I Ching aspect of it. Again, a nice chunky guidebook. And I figured with this, oh, so look at the back. This is how you figure out the symbols for the I Ching part of it. The artwork is lovely. And when I picked this deck up, I'm like, what is that noise? And when I took the cards out of this, I saw underneath at the bottom, €3. So I guess I had decided that I was going to work with this using the, tossing the coins for the I Ching. And it must have been after I came back from a trip to Europe. And I think it might have been Ireland, because this looks like the Irish euros with the harp and stuff. Anyway, I already have my coins in there. So, here just to look at these cards. This is by Madiva Padma. I love the artwork. It's beautiful. The cardstock is like super shuffly. It's really wonderful. And the thing I'm liking about this is that I can get double value from this, because not only can I use it as a straight oracle, but I can also learn the I Ching, which I am really not familiar with. So that is the oracle deck I've decided I will bring with me. Again, a nice chunky book. And I think that is going to give me a lot to do in my year on the tropical island. So the book was a little bit tricky. But finally, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go with my herbalist self, and I'm going to do this Wild Remedies book. It's by Rosalie de la Forêt and Emily Hahn. And it's foraging, and it's gathering herbs and making. Hopefully, I'm thinking, well, I might not have the stuff to make a tincture or a salve, but I will hopefully be able to boil water and make some teas and, some body washes and things like that, and make some meals with the herbs. Again, not sure what the climate will be. So, will there be elderberry? Will there be comfrey? Will there be mint? Will there be apples? Will there be, I don't know what, echinacea? I don't know. But I thought some sort of foraging book. It's how to forage, healing foods, and craft your own herbal medicine. So I thought, it can inspire me to explore the flora of the island that I'm on. And I am familiar a little bit with some of the herbs that grow in tropical climates, and I think there are even some in this book. But it gives you rules for wildcrafting. And so that's what I hope I'll be doing. I'll be able to do some wildcrafting, and I'll use that book as my guide. So those are my 3 decks and my 1 book. Martyn, this was a really tricky twist on this VR or this tag, having it be so limited. But I'm really glad you did it, because I chose differently than I normally would. I went completely out of my normal choices, and that's a good thing, right? So I'm actually thinking, looking at these 3 decks, that I may start off 2023 with these 3 decks, the first 3 months of 2023. I'm going to wait until the new year, because on the 15th of October, that's this Saturday, I'll be starting Esther at Mindful Tarot's Drop 'em 78, where I'm committing to using 1 deck from October 15th till December 31st. So starting January 1st, I will be ready to dive into some completely new and different decks. So anyway, and thanks, Laura, also for your tag. I loved it, and I really enjoyed your choices too. So be well, take care, blessings to you all.